What's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and today we are taking a look at the latest news out of the Toronto Maple Leafs. We have some updates on Jack Campbell, who's pretty much going into the free agency market, but there has been some talk about him maybe making a return to Toronto. Crazy thought. We're going to talk about that as well as an update on forward Ilya Mikheyev. It sounds like they are trying to negotiate. It sounds like he has kind of set his number between him and his agent, what he wants to make. Can the Leafs match that? We'll discuss that as well. So let's start off with the Jack Campbell situation. So for a very long time, it looked pretty much destined that Kyle Dubas was basically giving up on trying to re-sign Jack Campbell because they went a couple of months without discussing any sort of contract extension. Well, that seems to have changed. So, of course, within a couple of days of me posting that video where Jack Campbell hasn't talked to the Leafs since in 3 months, of course, that week he goes and talks to the Leafs. Maybe Kyle Dubas saw my video. Maybe I'm mighty enough to think he actually was going to do that. But this is from Elliotte Friedman, and this is the first report here. So last I heard on Jack Campbell and Toronto is there hadn't been any contract talks for months, like we mentioned. But I'd heard the two sides were very far apart, which may have been why they haven't been talking recently. All his agent would say is there's been no material conversation since the season's end. And that's where things kind of get interesting, because then we see from Jonas Siegel, contract talks between the Maple Leafs and Jack Campbell have been progressing slowly. So now there is conversation at least. So how far that goes, is that a conversation they had Tuesday for 2 hours and that's it? Or have they been continuously talking? And the way he was saying, it seems like their conversations have been progressing. It sounds like they have been talking multiple times over the past couple of weeks, which is very good news for the Leafs in the case that you are a fan of Jack Campbell. But they also have another guy that they have to re-sign, a pretty big name UFA. Now, he's not obviously one of the core 4 players on the Leafs. That's definitely, that is the truth. But he's still a very talented player, and that is 27-year-old Ilya Mikheyev. This is a couple of interesting reports. The first one from Chris Johnston. It's still a possibility that Ilya Mikheyev stays in Toronto, but cap space would need to be cleared. And again, that's where the conversation leads to: do they trade a Kerfoot to free up $3.5 million? Do they trade William Nylander? I know, Leaf fans were not thrilled with that possibility last year. Is there a way you could get out from under Justin Hall's $2 million this year? Those are the sort of things that I'd be looking at. If they were so dead set on keeping a guy like Ilya Mikheyev. The cap space does go up this season. It goes up 1.2 million, something like that. So the Leafs do get a little bit more breathing room, but that's very quickly going to get eaten up and is definitely not enough to get Ilya Mikheyev back on its own. So they're going to need some extra help. But this is from Chris Johnston saying that Ilya Mikheyev is looking for between $4 and $5 million per season on his contract this offseason. I think that's a pretty fair price, right? You're looking at, I'm going to guess, a 4/5 or a 5/5 for Ilya Mikheyev. You're looking at $5 million, 4 years, $5 million, 5 years. That's kind of what you're looking at here for Mikheyev. He's a very talented player. He had a really good season this year with the Leafs. Spent a lot of this season in the top 6 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So this is a guy that can get that money. He's not the higher end guys like a Riley Smith or even a Philip Forsberg, but he's still, I'm thinking, a lesser version of Riley Smith. I think that's kind of what you're looking at with a guy like Ilya Mikheyev. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you think of the Leafs potentially re-signing one of or both of these guys? I think more of the mindset right now is toward Jack Campbell. But again, I think because of the number, it may be difficult for the Leafs to do that. Guys, let me know what you think down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time.